Can I ask you a question? Did you ever have someone kiss?
Hey, everybody, and welcome to our third episode where myself, Hannah, and Oakley break down the life of a showgirl track by track, with a few little side quests. When the three of us are together, it's a little bit chaotic. But I just wanted to put this out there because I don't know if there are any young viewers watching this. If you are under the age of, like, let's say 18, um, maybe even like 21. Um, we do go in depth on songs like Father Figure and Wood, which are not the most child friendly, and sort of get into some of that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, so some of my future episodes would probably be a better fit if, you're uncomfortable with those topics or, not allowed to engage with that sort of content. I promise there will be a lot more coming that is more family friendly. We still have Wicked Part 2 to break down. And a lot of stuff related to that. We might do the Fate of Ophelia music video. So if that is more of your thing, I would recommend that you come back in a couple of weeks. We'll let you know. Make sure you're following us on Just a Question Pod on Instagram and Just a Question Podcast wherever you listen to your podcast, Spotify and YouTube. Thank you so much for listening and enjoy the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Just a Question Podcast. This is episode 3. We are discussing Life of a Showgirl by the one, the only Taylor Swift. I am your host, Erica, and today I have with me not one, but two very special guests, Oakley, who you have seen before, and Hannah, my built-in bestie since I was a baby, my cousin. And so, yeah, as I mentioned, we were going to be talking about the life of a showgirl today. So Oakley is back here with us today. Hannah has also joined us today. She's a first-time guest. So Hannah, if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, you can go ahead. You have the floor.
Okay. Hi, I'm Hannah. I've never been on a podcast before. This is a new experience. I just started a doctoral program. So I'm currently very busy doing school, taking some time away from that for this tonight. I'm an autism therapist, so spend a lot of time with kids. I've been potty training a kid for a couple weeks and it is not going great, but that's okay. I was an English teacher, and I have a master's degree in English and creative writing, so I have a lot of thoughts on the literary references within the life of a showgirl. And I've been a Swiftie pretty much since the dawn of time. I went to her performance at the North Dakota State Fair when I was 8, and I have not looked back since.
Iconic. We love.
Dang, that young. Wow. Wow, she's an OG.
She
I
is an
got
OG.
rid of the t-shirt I got at that concert in high school, and I will forever be mad at my teenage self.
That's like an
tragic.
artifact now.
Oh my gosh, I
Long-
tried to find
long-
one to get it again, and it's very expensive to find merch that old.
I bet.
Yay. No,
Okay,
yeah,
so
that's
then so then last time when Oakley was on, we didn't really talk a ton about when we became Swifties, so I want to give you a chance, Oakley, to talk a little bit about your
definitely.
introduction to Taylor Swift.
Yes. So it all started with my sister Clara. She has she has rare diseases and disabilities, and so with that, she was honestly the OG Swiftie in our family. And so honestly, I caught onto her Swiftyism, and so she was OG Swiftie since, the first album debut. And then I actually caught on to like what Taylor Swift was on her 1989 album. And so, like, ever since I want to say like Red, I started to really pay attention with her like "We Are Never Getting Back Together" song, and then also "I Knew You Were Trouble." And what was it? I don't the red that one. That would I think play in like Target, like I don't know, the media aisles, like that music video, or it was just like her swinging around on something red, and I was like, I like this. I was like, I want some of that. Anyway, and so ever since Red, I started to pay attention, but then ever since 1989, I was like, wow, this woman, she can do anything. She went from country to pop. So yeah, it's been a good time ever since 1989, I will say. So I guess
Yeah.
that's when I caught on.
Yeah. Well, awesome. I don't think I talked about it either. I was very late to the game. I came in to Swiftiedom, as Oakley has coined the term, during the re-recording era. I always knew her hits. I distinctly remember, Hannah, we were on a college tour and you were listening to 1989.
Oh.
I knew 1989 songs. It was very random. Like one day I opened Twitter and everybody was reacting to Fearless Taylor's version. And I got very curious. I'm like, what? Why? I knew that Fearless existed. I didn't know why Taylor's version existed. So then I essentially went down a rabbit hole, and I remember asking Hannah for her like recommendations, her favorite songs, because I wanted to know more before Red Taylor's version came out. So then essentially I just did a deep dive of the entire discography and have not
Do you-
looked back.
Do you remember what my answer was?
Better Than Revenge is one of them.
Of course.
That checks
That
out.
sounds about
And
right.
Haunted. There were a couple Speak Now songs, which I think is probably one of the reasons that that album is still top for me. Like, I don't know if number one anymore, but definitely top 3.
Oh,
Um,
I have to do another ranking.
I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I don't know if I would. Her albums are all so different. I would find it really hard to rank everything.
I
Mm.
somewhere in one of my journals I have a ranking, but that was a couple albums ago. I think I need to do an updated.
You probably do.
Potatoes? Yeah.
For the people
Scrumptious.
tuning in, Hannah's making soup.
Yes.
Okay. So as I mentioned a couple times before, today we are going to be discussing the life of a showgirl now that we've had a few weeks to listen to the album obsessively and decide on our favorite songs. So the first thing I want to discuss is everybody's first impressions of it. Was it what you expected from her sonically or lyrically? I know there have been many mixed opinions on social media, and I wanted to get your guys' perspectives on everything before we dive in track by track. So whoever wants to jump in can jump in.
Hmm.
I mean, I need to set the scene a little bit. So
Set the
I
scene.
listened the second it came out, 11 p.m. Central Time. I was in the kitchen of my childhood home because I had a wedding that weekend. How iconic for my friend who got married the day after a Taylor Swift album came out. Like, I love that for her. Um, so I turned it on, and this was after I worked a full 8-hour day with the children
Whew.
and drove 5 hours to North Dakota. I didn't drive, my husband did, because I don't like to drive. But I was in a car for 5 hours, and that is a miserable experience for anyone who knows how I enjoy traveling, which is not at all.
Yeah.
I immediately texted my best friend and said, "Oh, I like this." Listening to the first few chords of The Fate of Ophelia.
Mm-hmm.
But it is kind of my sound. Anything that sounds like it could be in a Mamma Mia movie or on an ABBA album is like what I love. So
Yeah.
it just kind of hit all the marks for me there.
Yeah. Yeah.
There were a
There's a
couple
lot of.
tracks that I like wasn't in love with when it first came out,
Mm-hmm.
which we'll get to when we do the track by track breakdown. But I have an appreciation for them now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in general, like, for me, I have no idea what I expected it to sound like, but it was different than what I thought it was going to be, especially like the first few seconds of Fate of Ophelia. Like it's quieter. Um, and then it built up, but there are definitely some theatrical inspired moments that you could definitely tell. And it makes sense, right? Life of a showgirl. And like the photo shoots are in the dressing rooms at the
Mm.
theater and the music video and everything. Yeah. Okay. Oakley.
Yeah. Okay, so the night it came out, I remember. Okay, honestly, I forgot terrible of me as a Swiftie. Okay, I forgot that it was coming out.
You forgot?
I did. I kind of forgot. No, okay. So like probably like 6 hours before it was released, I was like, yeah, it's coming. But then like I was with my friends all night, and then it just swooshed past my brain. Um and then no, one of my friends like literally said when I was like with her, she's a pop girly. She loves Taylor Swift. She likes Ed Sheeran. She loves all of the pop kings and queens. Anyways, so she was like, Oakley, The Life of a Showgirl is out literally at 11:01 p.m. And I was like, huh? And then I was like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is not real. Like, I remember literally just like waiting the whole free ever since she mentioned it. I was like, wow, this is gonna be a moment. Like, this is just like coming right after her like star-studded freaking groundbreaking whatchamacallit tour of the century thing. And I
There's
was like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, this is coming right after that. I don't know. It's like, and then it's like thing after thing after thing. It's like, wow, she is the moment. She is everything. Anyway, so like that came out. And then I honestly was so scared to listen to it. I don't know why, but I was very scared. But when I was being driven home by one of my friends, I was like, "Can I put on a song?" And she was like, "Yeah, of course." And I was like, "Is it okay if it's Taylor Swift?" And she was like, "Yeah, of course." And so I did the first two songs. Actually, the original plan was to only listen to one song because I was gonna listen to the rest of the album on my headphones. So I could like really dig in deep and just like really like just dig in. It's just so I listened to one song, and that was Fate of Ophelia. And yeah, the first few chords, I was like, wow, this is gonna be a song for sure. It's gonna have its moment. I just knew. I just knew that it was gonna freaking pop off. And so the Fate of Ophelia, love that. So and then for the rest of the album, I I don't know, it was just a blur. And then like the whole rest of the album, honestly, initially I was like, this is a very safe sound for Taylor Swift to dig into. And I was like, you know what? I can get behind it for sure. And so I do appreciate I did appreciate the album on the first listen. But not as much as I do like right now. Because right now I love it. It's so sweet and nasty in some parts. And so
Knock on
like
wood, anybody?
knock on wood. And so yeah, or father figure. Damn.
Yeah,
Anyway, okay. But anyway, it's my appreciation just skyrocketed. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I gotta say, like, I have no idea what I expected, but it was somehow different than what I expected, but not a bad different.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just gotten home from my band rehearsal, and I was like in my pajamas, like noise canceling headphones on,
Mm.
like listening to the album, and I was like, it very much like, I gotta work in the morning. Just one listen and then we go to bed. But I gotta say, when I was done with it, like I wanted to listen to it again. Um, and so then like the next day I listened to it on repeat. But yeah, I just remember like, you know, with the Fate of Ophelia, I was trying to like take in the lyrics, take in the song, but I didn't really, as Chats and Reacts would say, I didn't fathom like
Mm.
basically anything.
Yeah, no,
Like
for real.
the first time
I
around.
personally think the first listen is never about like the lyrics. It's about
Yeah.
you gotta get the vibe.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
then I feel like you said, Oakley, like the appreciation comes later on
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
in
Mm-hmm.
her albums, especially. I feel like she like winds so many different references in that you can't
Yeah.
appreciate them on the first listen because you just don't know they're there. And you have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
know the lyrics before you can like find some of the genius that I think people are missing from like Tortured Poets, Folklore, Evermore, which She was so depressed.
Oh.
First of all, I think that it's very obvious that maybe being an indoor cat was not her first choice for 6 years. And so when you're forcing yourself
Wow.
to do that, and then also in the
Yeah.
middle of a global pandemic, of course
Yeah.
you're going to put out these very thought-provoking pieces where I have you listened to the lyrics of Tolerate It, Hoke? Like, girl was
My
not
Tears
going right,
Ricochet, Mirror Ball.
and now she's been
Oh,
bebopping around the
yes.
world on her tour,
Mm-hmm.
following her redwood tree boyfriend, now fiancé,
Ah!
to all of his Super Bowls. Of course she's gonna put out something that's fun. My chicken's done. I'll be back.
I want to tell a little bit more about my stuff. So
Yeah,
while we
yeah.
wait for Hannah, I just remember like by the first chorus of like Opalite, I was up and dancing around my room. I was trying not to like squeal and like
Mm-hmm.
scream and wake my family. Like, and Hannah can attest to this when she comes back. But
Mm.
when we have our listening parties together, like there are reactions and there are sounds coming from our mouths.
Yeah.
I
I can only
remember
imagine.
the first listen of vigilante shit, like the lyric about someone told us white collar crimes to the FBI. I just went, the FBI? I feel like when Hannah and I have listening parties together, uh, I there's a little bit more like permission to like react out
Mm-hmm.
loud a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, not like
Yeah.
screaming because usually Drew's in the other room sleeping. Like it was just like trying to find a way to express my like reaction without being too loud and waking up my family.
Mm.
But no, it was probably midnight by the time I finished listening, so I don't remember a ton of my initial thoughts, but all I remember is like the next 2 days on social media was rough. As somebody who genuinely liked the album from the first listen,
Same.
and two standout songs that people chose to crap on were "Eldest Daughter" and "Wish List,"
I've got
which
many thoughts on both of them.
yeah, yeah. Um, and we're gonna touch on that because I have a whole thing on Eldest Daughter. I made a reel about it on the Just a Question podcast Instagram that sort of went viral. It's got almost 10,000 likes. Um,
I didn't know it went that crazy.
yeah,
What?
Girl!
and it was about
Jeez.
how the bridge was like so sad. It's kind of just like a meme. I don't know if you guys ever seen the meme of that girl. She's like walking through a field and like
Yeah. Oh,
breaking down
Midsummer.
and crying. So I just
Yes.
took that video and put the bridge of Eldest Daughter in the background,
Yeah.
and like it's got almost 10,000 likes. So
That's
that tells
insane.
me that a lot of people feel the same.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so
Okay, I know we're gonna get to Eldest Daughter, but
go
first
ahead.
Lamb to the Slaughter, every time I hear it, it is just like a twist.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There are some lyrics in that song that people are overlooking just because of the quote unquote cringe
Yeah.
lyrics that she chose to put in, but I am a firm believer that she did that for a reason. Anyway, we're already off track. This is great.
Your chest kind of hard. That hurt.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, I remember seeing all those like negative reactions to Eldest Daughter and Wishlist specifically, and I remember being like, are we listening to different songs? Like this has a different meaning than you think it is. Either that or I'm wrong.
Mm.
But the Zane Lowe interview, and we can touch more on this later. The Zane Lowe interview, she talks a lot about Eldest Daughter. All that to say, I really appreciated this album because it gives us something to dance to, but
Exactly.
there's also a lot of things that make you think in the album, and a lot of, like you said, Hannah, literary references, and I have appreciated so much the amount of content that we've gotten in this era, like all the talk show interviews and
The
like
podcast
Mm.
with Travis,
that,
That was
yeah,
amazing and low-key groundbreaking back then. That was
New
the
crazy.
Heights. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's the most intimate interview we've ever and will ever get from
Oh yeah.
because she felt so safe.
Yeah.
That's like the crux
Like,
of it.
I mean, I just can't get over the fact that during the podcast, Travis was having people set up the backyard for the proposal. I realized we never even really talked about the proposal or
Oh
like
my
the
gosh, no,
fact that
yeah,
she's engaged yet.
this woman, she's getting
Um,
it. That red.
This is
yeah,
my
I
royal
mean,
wedding.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and like I don't know, if, like you guys have seen all the interviews, but it might have been like the Jimmy Kimmel one where she told that story about Travis in the tent thinking he was dancing with Greta Gerwig.
Oh my god.
Oh
Or no,
yes.
no, he was dancing with
Oh.
Greta Gerwig, and he
He thought that
confused
he
her
had talked to her and he had
for
spoken to someone's wife.
and him making the joke about I'm just Ken too, and she's
Yeah.
Barbie. That
He
took me
quite
out.
literally is just Ken.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the
Sorry,
movie specifically when they said Barbie has a good day every day. Ken has a good day when Barbie looks at him. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
So all these interviews have sort of like how excited she is about the album and
Mm-hmm.
like how much she likes it kind of makes me like it even more, even though I
Mhm.
liked it in the first place. Cuz
I kind of think a lot. I recently watched an Ed Sheeran interview where he talked about like people say he puts out like the same songs or same album every few years. And he said, like, he pretty much was just like, and of course, this is a privilege that he can do this. He's like, I just enjoy music and making music. And like, it doesn't really matter what people think because I get to do what I love every single day. And he like gets to be with his kids. And because of the level of celebrity he's at, he can really make his tours family friendly, like to fit his family
Yeah.
schedule. It's
yeah.
like I just get to make music and do what I love and spend time with my family. And, you know, that's like all it is. And that's like what this album makes me think of. Like, it truly doesn't matter what we, the public, think of it. She
Yeah.
loves it.
Mm-hmm.
Girl has made her money.
Yeah.
Pop off queen. She doesn't need the sales from this album. She doesn't need people to love it.
Yeah.
Um,
And I just keep thinking about how she keeps saying, like, this album, like, she is at the same place in her life right now as she was when she made it. Like, she's at the exact same place. Like, she's
Yeah.
happy.
really,
I
I
mean,
cannot imagine having to put out the Midnight's album where she like says like as long as I have him, pretty much like Lavender Haze like doesn't matter, and then at the same time she's like actively going through the breakup, and then she has to go and
yeah.
perform the songs that she wrote about being so in love. Like I just can't fathom having to do that.
I think she said in one interview during Tortured Poets release week, she literally, like, put her phone in a drawer and went on vacation with Travis and her friends because by the time Tortured Poets came out, like, she and Travis were together. Like, she didn't relate to any of those songs except maybe The Alchemy and So High School. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah,
I
that's
love So High School so much. Oh,
that's a
Me
great song.
too. It's
makes me
so
feel
fun.
so good. Mm-hmm.
It's a really good song. Okay, so now we've finally come to the next section of the video.
Right, right.
Partially my fault. There's just so much to talk about.
It's okay.
The track by track breakdown. So Fate of Ophelia, there's kind of a lot. Because there is a video and there's so many visuals and like references within the video. Obviously this has a connection back to Shakespeare. Hannah, take
Confession
it away.
corner. I have not watched the music video.
You haven't.
I'm a doctoral student. I'm busy.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
okay.
That's okay.
Whatever.
You know what? You have no free time. You are
I
excused.
really don't. I work and then I come home and I do school.
Fate of Ophelia. There's a lot of connection back to Shakespeare, Shakespeare's Hamlet, and something that an Easter egg that we got wrong when we did our first episode, the 47. We thought it was in connection to the Super Bowl. It was not. And she has
Yeah.
since said that she won't be doing that because Travis is on the field.
I
Yeah,
would
don't
like
need
to
to take
say that that
away.
is what I have been saying.
Yeah. I don't know why people believe that. I guess I was just latching onto other people's theories, but
I
um
was I was just latching on to hope and a good time. So
it would be cool, but yeah, she
yeah,
could focus on Travis. Um yeah, so since then we've learned that the 47 is in reference to Act 4 Scene 7 of Hamlet where Ophelia dies. Um yeah, I mean that it's a great song. Um what else do I have to say about the Fate of Ophelia? Hannah, do
I
you
have
have
a
any?
lot to say, so do not move on. Just hold on. I pulled out the Bible. Just kidding. It's not the
oh,
Bible. It's William
okay,
Shakespeare.
okay, okay, okay. I was like, oh my gosh, I did not pick up on the stuff that y'all did.
If you want to say your thoughts on Fate of Ophelia, you have the floor.
Mm,
Okay. You said Hamlet, Act 4, Scene 7.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So, first of all, I need to know, what do you guys know about Hamlet?
nothing.
I read it in college. It's been a few years.
Okay. It is so telling that she has linked herself to Ophelia. The fate of Ophelia. Ophelia is considered a very tragic character in Hamlet. So she is, as said in the song, she is the eldest daughter of a wealthy man. She is an option for Hamlet, who is a prince of Denmark, to marry. And so Hamlet's father is killed at the beginning of the play, and Hamlet begins to see his ghost, and
Oh, yeah.
he has set out to avenge his father's death. And in avenging his father's death, he kills Ophelia's father. In the wake of her father's death, Ophelia goes mad or goes insane. So there's those references to Ophelia losing her mind in the song. Ophelia's death is ambiguous. There is not a sure thing. The only thing we know for sure is that she drowns. So there's that, Ophelia,
Mhm.
like in the album artwork, she's in a bath and she's in, covered, and like her face is partially removed. She drowns in a river, and we don't know if she commits suicide or if she drowns by accident.
Yeah.
I, based on the lyrics of The Fate of Ophelia, I think Taylor Swift thinks that she killed herself. I think that is how she has interpreted The Fate of Ophelia. Because she says in one line, "You saved me from the fate of Ophelia." And
Yeah.
I kind of think that meeting Travis changed the trajectory of her life. Like, she had 6 years she spent with this guy, thought he was the one. She references it in another song.
Yeah.
He wasn't the one. And then her life crumbles around her. Because there's this societal view that women over 30 are, like, their life is over if they're not married and don't have children.
Yeah.
You guys go ahead and say your thoughts. That's kind of my thoughts on the fate of Ophelia. I
Yeah.
think it's very interesting that she links herself to Ophelia. I'm flipping to Act 4, Scene 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, I think Act 4 Scene 7 is where I read that like it is revealed that she's died. Like you said, it's kind of ambiguous.
I just want to say that I am not good at picking up Easter eggs, but there is this damn orange bird that I keep seeing around in the music video. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but it's in the opening scene, it's in the ending scene where it flies out the window of the apartment. It's in that part. Um, what else?
There's a million Easter eggs in the music video.
Yeah,
We could do a whole episode just on that.
definitely.
I
A
just think that
dish.
specifically, like at the end of the music video where the camera goes like into the bathroom, and first of all, there's an Oscar on the bathroom floor.
Yeah, it.
Reference to wish list, and it
Yeah.
zooms in on Taylor, and she's like
Mhm.
basically in the position that she is in the album cover,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
referencing Ophelia's death.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, yeah, and we touched on like what the fate of Ophelia could be referring to in the first episode
Hmm.
of this podcast, but I mean, we didn't know anything. We were literally just guessing.
That's yeah. I don't even know. I just want to say that like yeah, kind of retouching on like my first initial thoughts of like even just starting the album, the Fate of Ophelia, I feel like it's a really good opener. I love it as an opener actually. I think it's the whole album kind of feels low key on par to Lover. But it's just maybe more sonically. Not necessarily lyrically, um, and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, there's some shared kind of ideas about like love, um, and stuff like that. Yeah, but I just want to say, so wait, what is the opener on Lover? I'm trying to.
I forgot that
Oh,
you existed.
I forgot that you existed. Yeah, so that it's like a bumpy little bop, and it's such like a nice and welcoming sound. Um, and I want to say the Fate of Ophelia, it's more compared to I Forgot That You Existed, it's more elaborately produced. And the Fate of Ophelia with those like boom, 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 like those kind of like bumpy synths gets me going
Yeah.
and it makes me move and it makes me dance. And I love that about the intro. Like it makes you get on your feet.
Interesting that you reference Lover because my cousin Ashley also talked about Lover when we were talking about
Mm,
this album.
Yeah.
Um and she had like texted her friends and was like, "Who's gonna tell Travis that Lover's a better album than this one?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, but is Lover actually a love album?"
hmm
There
It's
because
like,
like The Archer,
Oh, love that song so much. My
I
favorite track
love
five of all
that song,
time.
but it is like the perfect representation of what anxiety feels like.
yeah.
Definitely.
And like, I forgot that you existed. Sorry, if this is a song, if this album is about like being so in love, why are
Right.
we thinking about people that don't exist to us anymore? I've
Mean.
never like in the songs where whether we think it's about Travis or it's been confirmed to be
Right.
about Travis, I've never once, correct me if I'm wrong, but like I feel like I haven't heard a lyrical reference to like a time after Travis, like her anticipating it or even worried about it. Whereas like
No.
in
Right.
Cornelia Street, it's like one of the main things is like
Yeah.
I'll never walk Cornelia
Definitely.
Street again if I don't have you.
Yeah.
And so like it's very obvious and like it has been, whether confirmed or it's like rumors, but like her relationship with Joe was a lot more tumultuous than we thought. Like there was like
Definitely.
took breaks. They weren't like it wasn't 6 years of just solidly being together. There was time apart in those 6 years.
Yeah. I
And so
mean,
like
yeah.
yeah, I kind of have come
No,
to think that
definitely.
Lover is not really a love album anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It really puts things into perspective because um earlier I was watching like an extended reaction of like Chats and Reacts, and they were talking about how this album, there's like no anxiety. Like
No.
she is
Yeah.
so
It's
sure
just a goofy fun time. Literally, the Fate
and
of Ophelia
confident.
is the only reference to any sort of like not feeling the best. And
Yeah.
and it opens with her saying like I'm like the Fate of Ophelia isn't my fate anymore.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, cause you saved me from the Fate of Ophelia.
Yeah.
Like I was locked up in that tower for 6 years, and then you hop on your podcast and you're calling out to me out on the megaphone, like saying you want to see me all alone, or like
Um
the
so creepy, Travis. Like if he was not a rich white man, I would be locking my doors. I would be
Oh,
so creepy. What? Of course you couldn't go down the elevator to meet her because you knew who runs the elevator. What? A man who lives in delusion, but like clearly it worked out.
what do you mean an elevator?
He
What?
doesn't he say on a podcast that he thought he could just like go up to the person who runs the elevator in Arrowhead Stadium and go
I
meet
think so.
Taylor after the show?
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean, the
right.
man was very delulu.
Right.
Did you ever hear about the man who lives in delusion? It's fucking Travis Kelce. Sorry.
But I
Explicit
mean,
warning.
he
Man,
like somehow manifested that into
I was just gonna say
existence.
he
So
manifested his life though because now he's married to a billionaire.
yeah,
Mm.
A billionaire who
yeah,
will cross the ocean on her private jet to go watch him in the Super Bowl hours after she concluded her 3-hour show.
I remember there were videos of Swifties literally doing the math on that.
I
Like,
remember
okay,
too,
if
and I was
Taylor
like,
Swift's show ends at this time and she leaves right from there, she'll make it just in time. That was funny.
genuinely, when people were doing that, I was like, you guys have too much time. Like, I love Taylor Swift so much, but if you have time to be doing this,
That's
Tea.
true. Yeah, I mean, the Fate of Ophelia, what else can I say? It's a great song. It's a bop.
Mhm.
And we'll have to do a whole other video on the music video breakdown because there's simply too much to be talking about.
I did find what that 4/7 reference is. Ophelia's death happens off screen. She really isn't like a major character in the play, which is why her death is so tragic, because she could have washed her hands of Hamlet and walked away, and like she would have been fine. She would have found another man to marry. The queen comes to tell Ophelia's brother that she has drowned. And he asks where she's drowned, and this is where we get the imagery of her,
Yeah.
the painting, and then also the references in the music video. There's a willow grows aslant a brook that shows his hoar leaves, HOAR leaves, in the glassy stream. There with fantastic garlands did she come, of crown flowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples, that liberal shepherds give a grosser name, but our cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. There on the pendant boughs her coronet weeds, clambering to hang, an envious sliver broke, when down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook. Her clothes spread wide, and mermaid-like awhile they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old tunes as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto the element, but long it could not be, till that her garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Wow.
So that is the fate of Ophelia.
Oh my lord. Okay, I think it's so interesting. Um, Something about her crown having, what are the plants in it?
Nettles, daisies, and long purples.
So,
There's mention
you,
of daisies and wood,
ooh.
She
But
also
did you know that?
talks about
but I think that's a
daisies
different
in a
reference.
Reputation song.
Yeah, I once was poison ivy, but now I'm your daisy.
Oh yeah, Daisy. Yeah. Um,
Love.
I would also like to say that nettles
I,
are a stinging
I was just
plant.
gonna say they're stinging. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's like a self of, I mean, a sense of like self sabotage. Don't even know. Maybe there's that, or maybe it's like she views.
It would be interesting to see
I,
if there's nettles in the music video or anything like that.
mm,
We would have to do a
oh,
deep dive. That'll be next episode or a couple episodes from
right,
now.
right. So true, so true.
Yeah, there's a
Anyways,
lot to
yeah.
unpack in there, but we have been
Hmm.
recording for 43 minutes, so I think we should go on to Elizabeth Taylor.
I think this might have to be a 2-part episode.
All right, Elizabeth Taylor.
Elizabeth Taylor.
I love this song.
That's strangely like that. Right when I first heard it, within like the first like 10 seconds, I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be one of Hannah's favorites. Like I just knew.
My new favorite way to describe like just sobbing is like what is it? Why can't I think of it now? Like Cry My
Cry My
Eyes
Eyes
Violet.
Violet.
I love it. Like the imagery that invokes. Like I read a
Hmm.
lot. I read a lot. And it takes a lot for me to be impressed by imagery because I've read really good books that like incorporate really great imagery. There's only so many ways that you can say that someone is like sobbing so hard
Yeah,
it's like with their whole body. Um and the Cry My Eyes Violet, I was like, she
great.
doesn't mince her words, and I know exactly what she's saying with that.
Yeah.
I'm not well versed in Elizabeth Taylor's works. I know she's in my favorite Shakespeare film, The Taming of the Shrew. I
Mhm.
know she's in other Shakespeare works as well. Um so I I love it. I also love like that Taylor has been referencing these like really great female characters. Not characters, they're people, but like she references Clara Bow, she references
Yeah.
Stevie Nicks. Um
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that she's been referencing them and comparing herself to the greats of the past because she really is like the great
Yeah.
of our generation. And just like Elizabeth, all of this like scandal associated with her, so does Taylor.
Yeah. There are a couple of connections to Elizabeth Taylor in this song that I've seen. People say that Elizabeth Taylor's eyes were often described as like literally purple. So like
Mm.
when Taylor, who has blue eyes, like me, if she cries like really hard, then her eyes her face and her eyes will be red. Blue and red make violet. So cry my eyes
Okay.
violet, Elizabeth Taylor.
I was
My eyes
wondering,
look
I figured there had to be some reference there, and I tried to find it one day, but I couldn't
yeah.
find.
Yeah, so like my eyes would look like Elizabeth Taylor's. Also, like sort of going back to like I said, this album is pretty much anxiety free. The one lyric that sort of reminded me a little bit of Cornelia Street was like if your letters ever said goodbye or if you ever leave me high and dry, like
Mm.
I cried my eyes violet. That's like the
Yeah.
one little tinge that I could sort of feel, but like the rest of the album is like we're happy, we're fun, we're safe and secure in our relationship. Um,
I guess I never made
yeah,
the connection necessarily to her current relationship because it's titled after Elizabeth Taylor. It felt a little
I
bit,
mean that's
it
true.
feels maybe a little bit more um biographical than autobiographical. But that's a good catch, Erica.
I mean that's true. Yeah,
That's just my personal thought.
it could be a little bit of both. I
Like,
mean, she
yeah,
could be
I mean,
drawing those
I
comparisons.
personally I think that when writers write anything, whether it's a song, a poem, a play, well, Hamlet is actually a really great example of this because Shakespeare wrote it after the death of his son Hamnet.
Mm.
Like, I'm so
Ooh.
sorry. You cannot tell me that he wasn't in some way grieving the loss of his son through a play where one letter off from his son's name.
Oh, he probably was. I
I
don't see how it couldn't be.
but I think that like every writer brings their their personal biases, whether that's political, socioeconomic, or like what's going on in their life. I think all of that plays into how they write things. So I think it's probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So honestly, my first reaction is I was not a fan of the song. And it was
Sacrilege!
and it was because of the Elizabeth Taylor. I did not like that for some reason. I just couldn't really like I mean, I feel like that's such a Taylor Swift thing to do is just to like put that piece of the chorus as the beginning. I mean, it's a common part of production, but how she says it, how she phrases it, definitely Taylor Swift. But it just wasn't my favorite. But then, honestly, as time went on, I mean, it's a good song. I've grown to love it, guys. I can't help but like it. So love it, like it. But no, when that beat dropped, I was too stunned to speak. I was like, girl, I was not prepared for this. It just it's a stunner. It's a stunner of the
Yeah.
album, one of the stunners. And a good time. Yeah, no, honestly, I did hear the part of Cry My Eyes Violet, and I did kind of note that in my brain. Like the first time I heard that lyric, I was like, that is very interesting lyric. And I was like, I'll note that like in my brain forever.
I would say first listen, I probably preferred Fate of Ophelia and Opalite over this one.
Me
I
too.
still thought it was
I,
really good. Um, but
Opalite was my standout from the first listen.
yeah,
I will say that.
I don't know if there's much. else that I need to say about Elizabeth Taylor. I mean, it's a song I clocked right away that is very like rap vibes. I did cue in
Mm-hmm.
on that.
I did look up Elizabeth Taylor. Do you think it's forever since you said that, Oakley?
Yeah.
Google AI, so I wouldn't put too much into this, says that it's Taylor asking Elizabeth if she thinks love can last forever. So it does kind of bring in that anxiety piece a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And the song reflects on the public's scrutiny of both Taylor Swift's and Elizabeth Taylor's dramatic love lives.
Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
Elizabeth Taylor, she had 7 or 8 husbands, right? And Taylor obviously has been scrutinized for like, every single name calling under the sun, like serial
Yeah.
dater, like, just breaking up with guys left and right. Like, she
Mm-hmm.
probably really like once she did a lot of research into Elizabeth Taylor was like, oh man, like this is a lot like my life,
Coming into the song, I knew nothing about Elizabeth Taylor,
Neither did
or
I. Yeah.
coming into this podcast actually. So this is all new information. I was like, wow, period. I love the lore behind it. I love the story. I love the reasoning why she like
All I
references
knew about
her.
Elizabeth Taylor was The Taming of the Shrew. Highly recommend. Actually, I think it would be super fun to do like a little movie night because one, that is my favorite play of Shakespeare's. Two, Elizabeth Taylor in that play as a movie is iconic. Iconic.
I had a Shakespeare in film class. I think we watched Taming of the Shrew, but I just remember my favorite Shakespeare like play and film being Much Ado About Nothing.
I
Oh
love
Like
yeah.
To Do About Nothing. So good.
Much Ado About Nothing is so funny. Like so funny.
So funny.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I think I'm ready to move on to Opalite. Okay, the thing I have to say about this is the one that got me up and dancing. Like I was sort
Mm.
of like with the Fate of Ophelia, I was like on my bed, and Elizabeth Taylor, I was like, what is this sound? And then Opalite, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
But no, like in the podcast when Travis said that this was his favorite, I was like, that's interesting. I really wonder what it sounds like and like what kind of vibe it has for him to say that. And on first listen, I'm like, Travis, Travis has got taste.
I mean, this
Yeah.
is also a man who ranks Blank Space above the songs written about him.
I mean that's true.
He is all vibes.
He is, but
Definitely.
he did say that like he likes So High School and the Alchemy. I don't know if he was just saying that because they were written about him, but I mean the man's a blank space stan.
He
Mhm.
knows what the people want, but he also not about to sacrifice Blank Space.
But no,
Yeah.
yeah, I love Opalite on first listen. I think like she says a lot in that song. Like it's a dancey song, but she says a lot because it starts with the perspective of like, and my mom told me like all of these things, and then like you turn it around in the second chorus, and like, and that's when I told you. Like she's passing on, what her mom told her, and I think that's a cool thing to do in a song.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that this was like maybe the first song, in my opinion, that kind of sounded showgirl esque.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
very a positive bop, and it's very just like maybe I think the production behind it kind of like don't the guitar. It just makes me want to do like what is it called? Do just do like this the
like
move
the
of like
disco.
the disco move, but it's not disco, is it? This is not a disco song.
No,
So it just yeah. I want to say the thing that was probably most showgirl was the bridge where she like harmonized with herself.
yeah, the vocal layering.
Yeah, the vocal
Yeah,
layering.
that was
That
that was yeah,
that was peak, and I was like, okay. I really enjoyed
yeah,
that part, but this was also not a favorite song of mine. I'm so sorry. But I will say it. On first listen, on the first couple listens, it was not my favorite. But no, but as I said before, like I always come around to Taylor Swift, and so I really appreciate Opalite as of now. So
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but is it too nasty and gross of me to say that I like her sad songs? I don't know.
No, no. I
So,
mean, everybody has a taste preference,
yes,
like,
yes.
right? And so, like, I think the people who initially had really negative reactions, not you, but like
Mm-hmm.
online in general, the people who had really negative reactions to
Yeah.
this, like their top albums were like Tortured Poets and Folklore and Evermore. Is the
Yeah.
vibe that I was getting, right?
Yeah.
Because, but I mean, again, I don't know what they expected.
Uh-huh. No,
Well, I
exactly.
think that I think people expected it to be a happier album, but they still expected
100%.
that, like, lyrical, um, like, they expected the poetic lyrics, but in a happy way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or they were expecting, like, the life of a showgirl to be kind of like how it's portrayed in the title track, where it's like, some of my favorite lyrics are from the title track. I'm gonna look up the lyrics and, of course we're gonna get to the life of a showgirl,
Mm-hmm.
but the song itself, like, I think people expected more of the lyrics from the life of a showgirl.
Like
Thank
more,
you for the bouquet.
yeah,
You're sweeter than a peach, but you don't know the life of a showgirl, and you're never ever gonna.
yeah,
One, I mean, we've heard her say, like, she will not do Easter eggs that, like, hint at her life. And I think that's true. And I think that makes sense. And her being like, you're actually never going to know the life of this showgirl. Like, you can
Mm-hmm.
make your
yeah.
guesses, you can make your inferences based on the song, but you're never going to know. And I think people expected it to be more of, like, the life of a showgirl and be more of, like, she's this bright, shiny person on stage. And then behind the scenes, it's all kind of blah. But that's
Yeah.
not the life of Taylor Swift.
I mean, that wasn't her life. No.
No.
Um, yeah,
I want to get to the last song so bad. I love the
Yes.
yeah.
life of a showgirl so much.
Yeah. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I think like we obviously get a little bit of commentary on the industry itself in Father Figure, right?
I have
And
thoughts on father figure.
and like the life of a showgirl, the title track. Um, like sort of building off of what you were saying, like I think going into it, people were probably expecting more of that. Like more about
Right.
what it actually feels like to be a showgirl and
Yeah.
like the pressure of like and being in the public eye and like you know um yeah, I mean, I think I was expecting more of that, but like I said, I'm really happy with the album overall.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
um yeah, I mean, Oakley, do you have anything to add before we move on to Father Figure?
I have one more thing.
Go at
Oh,
it.
Have either of you read Fourth Wing?
the what?
Unfortunately, I don't read.
I couldn't hear what you said.
Have you read Fourth Wing?
No.
One, I think you should read Fourth Wing. It is, the way I would describe it is How to Train Your Dragon, but for adults. It's very fun, very flirty. It gets a little sexy,
I love How to Train Your Dragon. That
but
soundtrack
the
slaps.
main character is a lightning wielder. And so every time I see dancing or hear dancing through the lightning strikes, I just picture Violet dancing through the lightning strikes that she's causing.
Yeah. Yeah, and what a like a poetic way to say like you were going through a tough time dancing through the lightning strikes and
I kind of
like
think of paparazzi.
yeah,
Mm.
Like, that's like the image I get where you're just like you're so under scrutiny. And it's like, hey, you were doing what you had to do. You were just dancing through the lightning strikes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm literally just getting that you think the lightning strikes are referring to camera flashes. I don't know how that didn't register in my brain right away. But yeah, that's a good connection.
I picture
And also like
dragons and
Storm Inside a
fantasy and
Teacup.
paparazzi. Yep.
Storm Inside a Teacup. That's a really good analogy, I think. All right. So Moving on to father figure. Hannah, you said you had thoughts about father figure, so you can go ahead and start.
I'll actually let you guys go first. I need to find something.
Okay. So I have in my notes here, what was everybody's reaction to the lyric? You know which one.
The lyric.
The lyric. I can confidently say that my jaw was on the floor.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I obviously didn't know what she meant by like
Mm.
I can make deals with the devil because my dick's bigger. Like I
Yeah.
didn't know at first. It wasn't clocking to me that that meant like he, assuming this is about, not confirmed, but everybody who listened to the song is like, oh, this is about Scott. Assuming this is about Scott Borchetta, like he clearly thought that he had a lot of influence in the industry. So
Yeah.
I did not like make that connection to like, hey, you know, I have a lot of influence and I can make deals with the devil because my dick's bigger because like I'm more important. Yeah, and it's just such an interesting song. I think it's an important song, and like the way it switches perspective. I've heard different opinions on whether people think it switches perspective, but like
I've heard of that one too.
I think it does.
Yeah.
Like
I
after the
think it
bridge.
switches perspectives. I actually think that the end of the song is in reference to her relationship with Joe Alwyn.
Ooh.
I'm not sure. I haven't seen any theories about this. I also recently deleted Instagram, so I haven't been like hearing any theories. So this is from my undergrad program. Critical theory. These are like different lenses that you can analyze. Specifically, the way I use it is works of literature. So father figure. Have you heard of the Oedipus complex?
No.
Maybe.
Okay, so the Oedipus complex is in reference to a Greek tragedy. It's a king and queen who tries to escape a prophecy that their son, Oedipus, will kill his father and fuck his mother. And
We're keeping this in the podcast, right?
Well, it's an explanation, so I was gonna.
I'm fine with it being on the internet. So
It's a cool, yeah.
what happens, to like summarize the play and to explain this theory, Oedipus, as a baby, is brought into the mountains by a shepherd, and he is supposed to Oedipus, but he says that he cannot do that to the baby. And so instead he leaves him on the mountain, thinking that the elements and or the animals will do the deed for him. And instead, Oedipus is found by another royal family and is taken in and raised as their own. And he is, it's been a while since I read it, but I don't remember if they like never told him that he was like found, but Oedipus, in attempting to escape their fate, they actually kind of walk themselves into it, because Oedipus, I don't know if he invades this territory, but he winds up killing this king and marrying this king's wife. And it comes out in the play that he killed his father and then married his mother. And so the Oedipus complex, have you guys heard of Sigmund Freud?
Yeah.
He's a very interesting man. He had a theory called the Oedipus complex that all sons' first love is their mother, and that some part of them always wants to Yeah, I don't need. You can fill in the blanks.
You know, I think we got it.
You can fill in the blanks. The
Right.
opposite side of this. So I started thinking about the Oedipus complex, listening to father figure, naturally. And then I was like, well, what's the opposite of the Oedipus complex? Freud believed that women suffer from what he called penis envy,
I've heard of that
and that they
before.
tend to see their firstborn sons as penis substitutes to make up for their own lack. Okay, do I think that Taylor
I
Swift...
want to throw up.
It's disgusting. But psychoanalysts can be used to help us understand the psychological effects of patriarchal ideology, as well as how and why men and women internalize it. And I feel like father figure is such a great example of how women internalize patriarchal ideologies. And I also think that it kind of is like, it like flips the script. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up the lyrics. When I found you, you were young, wayward, lost in the cold. So
Oh, the
you
Oedipus.
remind me of a younger me. I saw potential. I don't really think that makes sense in the context of Scooter Braun, because Scooter Braun didn't find her wayward in the cold. He wasn't
Yeah.
the one that like signed her and then like he bought her he bought her
Yeah, I mean,
masters,
it's...
but he didn't
Yeah.
make her. So that makes me think of, I once saw, I can't remember where I saw this, but I once saw someone say, you don't get to be an up and coming actor in Hollywood for 6 years unless you're Taylor Swift's boyfriend. And I saw potential. You remind me of a younger me. And then I'll be your father figure. So like, this love is pure profit really makes me think of Joe Alwyn, because Taylor Swift really was his meal ticket. You don't get
Oh,
to
yeah.
be an up and coming actor for 6 years and not be a major actor in a movie for that long with like I really honestly can't think of a single movie he's been in. Like
No, there was that Hulu show, but yeah,
couldn't name
not
it. Couldn't. You don't like, unless Taylor Swift is your father figure, you don't get to
I
you
know
don't
of a
get to
gay
do that.
movie he was in.
What movie?
Okay, hold on. I think it's called.
I was just talking about the Oedipus complex.
I feel
Hold
like
on.
especially once we get to Wood, which will probably be like in part 2, there's really no
Oh my God, he's
limit
in
as to
Ham.
where we go.
Wait. Okay, so I just looked up Joe Alwyn movies, and
He's like a Shakespearean actor.
he's in this movie called Hamnet, and it's being released this year, or it's released
Oh
this
yeah, I
year.
have seen that. Yeah.
That
Interesting.
That is very
is
interesting.
crazy.
Okay, wow.
Um,
Okay, why are people not thinking that this album is lyrical?
that is actually so crazy because, like, how did she become up
There's
with
so
this, like,
much.
freaking Shakespearean lore of, like, Ophelia, and then low key, like, Joe Alwyn has, like, this movie coming out? I just, the
Yeah.
tie. I don't know. Hold on. Okay. I'm looking
I
up.
mean, we've been
I'll keep going into
talking for an
lyrics.
hour.
Definitely go ahead. Yeah.
I pay the check before it kisses the mahogany grain. Said they want to see you rise, they don't want you to reign. I showed you all the tricks of the trade. All I ask is for your loyalty, my dear protege. I'm guessing Taylor was picking up the check for them 90% of the time. I saw a change in you, my dear boy. They don't make loyalty like they used to. So
So
call back
long,
to
London.
all I ask is for your loyalty. Your thoughtless ambition sparked the ignition on foolish decisions. which led to misguided visions that to fulfill your dreams, you had to get rid of me.
Ooh. Yeah. I
And
left all I knew. You left me at the house by the heath.
yep. I was your father figure. You pulled the wrong trigger. This empire belongs to me.
Yeah.
So I do think that there are references to other. I don't think it's all about Joe Alwyn, but it just makes me think of like. Well, it makes me think of like kind of mixing penis envy and the Oedipus complex. These are theories used in
I'm
psychology
sorry.
and
Yeah.
no,
You're-
Freud is actually someone that I'm like, bro, I really don't think you are okay. I honestly can't think of a single other person who spoke so openly about wanting to have sex with his mother, except for maybe Oedipus. And he gouged out his own eyes because of how shamed he was by the fact that he unknowingly married his mother and procreated with her. That's not what this podcast is about. But I think that it just mixes those two theories and like because Taylor Swift. So, I mean, we're going to get a little bit of a history lesson here too, guys. Women couldn't open their own bank accounts until the 1970s. I don't know the exact
Yeah.
year, but like the whole idea of Taylor Swift being this household name and being able to completely control her own finances, this is a completely new thing. And I do think it is a big part of why there is so much, especially male scrutiny of her. Because she should not, like, there are people who don't think that she should be able to do this just because she's a woman. I remember this was why I started looking at this song as possibly a reference to Joe Alwyn, honestly kind of riding her coattails.
Yeah.
You'll be sleeping with the fishes before you know you're drowning. Whose portrait's on the mantle? Who covered up your scandals? Mistake my kindness for weakness and find your card canceled. That is what really made me think, I'm not sure that this is about someone in her, like, in reference to her music. Because I don't think Taylor Swift was paying off anyone's credit cards if they were, like, her business partner. But you know who maybe she would financially tie herself to? Someone she
Financially.
wants to marry.
Yeah.
Someone she wants to spend the rest of her life with. Mixing finances before you get married is pretty common now, especially when you're in a serious relationship.
True.
Yeah.
Just
Man,
saying, that is an interesting line to throw in there. So that lyric really caught my attention. Yeah.
I
Crazy.
had literally never thought about it in that context before. So now you got me. I can see it on your face, Oakley. You're thinking about it too. Wow.
I don't mince my words. Maybe I
No.
should.
I mean, I can definitely see that part of the song for sure.
I
Being
kind
tied to
of, like,
Joe.
the end, I get it more. In the beginning, I do kind of...
Scott, for sure.
Yeah. Like Scott, not Scooter, but the guy
not
who like
Scooter.
originally signed her masters.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that and then I do think it switches perspectives to kind of like, I wonder if there was a part of her that like wondered, did he stay with me for so long because of the like notoriety that it gave him?
Yeah, I mean, didn't he win a Grammy for having songwriting credits on Folklore?
Yep.
Shameful. Shameful.
Yeah. That's interesting. And something, this is not my observation, just a little fun like tidbit. Like the phrase "I protect the family" is said 6 times throughout the song.
Yeah. It is.
So that's interesting. That's, I mean, definitely, about the music industry part. But yeah, I mean, I'm really gonna have to sit with what you just said about the ending. Oakley, do you have anything to add?
Well, I'm already sat with the ending. Um, well, I'm just shook if well, honestly, my whole world just flipped upside down with that explanation. That's my new explanation for that song. I love that explanation. I love penis
Yeah.
envy. 100%. Let's go with that. I'm shooketh right now. I don't know what to think. But I do know the movie that he acted in. He acted in this movie called Boy Erased, and it's with Lucas Hedges from Lady Bird.
Mhm.
If you've seen that movie, he's also just a familiar face. I feel like you've maybe like seen him once or twice. Um,
I know he was. The Hulu show is called Conversations with Friends. Other than
mm,
that, I could not tell you a
I
single
also
thing about
think,
them.
yeah, Lucas Hedges is in Manchester by the Sea with Ben Affleck's brother. So, freaking Joe Alwyn's role in this Boy Erased movie is he plays the roommate and perpetrator of SA against the main character of the roommate. So, he
Mm.
has internalized homophobia in the um in the movie, and he doesn't know how to process feelings, and so he resorts to SA against his roomie to just get those feelings out. Anyway, that's just totally like different topic. But I mean,
Yeah, it's
actors can act
there's a
in
lot.
whatever movie they want to.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything, but I was trying to act goofy. My bad. Anyways,
Oh my god. Oh my
No.
god. Guys, I looked up Joe Alwyn's work. He plays Laertes in Hamnet, who is
yeah.
Ophelia's brother.
Ooh. Oh, interesting.
What in the world?
And he's the one who he and Laertes is actually who kills Hamlet in um the play.
Wait, is Hamlet or Hamnet? Wait, what? Is it Hamnet or Hamlet?
It is Hamnet,
Hamnet.
which is wait, wait, wait,
Oh,
wait, wait, wait.
Hamlet.
Hamlet.
Oh, whoa. Whoa. Okay. He's in Hamnet. He's playing Bartholomew. In Hamlet, which is also coming out in 2025, he's playing Laertes. I'm looking up when this Hamlet movie was announced. Oh my gosh. Of course
What?
it's in a film festival.
So artsy indie boy of him.
It really is. Okay, what song do we get where she like or I don't remember what song the lyrics are off of, but it's like I've never met anyone like you, and it's like in reference to Travis. It's on The Life of a Showgirl. And here's my thing.
Never met no one like you before, Opalite.
Oh, it is on Opalite. Oh, I should have said this when we were talking about Opalite. I have
It's
met
fine.
so many Travis Kelce's in my life. Taylor Swift has been dating artsy boys who are just kind of depressed by nature since she was like 18 years old.
Mhm.
Of course she hasn't met someone like Travis. Nothing against Travis. I married a Travis Kelce. He's great.
Yeah.
But like I could walk into a room with Travis Kelce without meeting him and I know exactly what kind of person he is.
Exactly.
I don't think he's a bad person, but like I just know exactly
Mhm.
what I'm gonna get from him. And I just find it really funny that she's like, I've never met anyone like you before. Well, you were dating the human equivalent of a cigarette.
He's a simple man.
He's a simple man. Honestly, that's all we deserve in life is simplicity and
It's-
fun and yeah,
We deserve
Yeah.
simple men.
we deserve simple men. No one tell my husband I said that.
Are you ready to dive into Eldest Daughter?
We can.
Okay. Eldest Daughter. Man, what a song.
I have cried to this song.
Me too. Me too. I don't usually cry to songs. I'm just gonna put that out there. I remember our Midnight's reaction. I was just sitting there taking it all in, but I think you cried to You Are on Your Own Kid, and I did not.
I
Or
cried to that song a lot.
or what was it on Tortured Poets LOML?
Oh
I
my
remember you crying to that one,
Oh, I've
and
cried to
I did
that song a
not.
lot.
Wait,
Eldest Daughter though, Eldest Daughter got me.
what tortured poet song did you? What?
LOML, love
Oh,
slash loss
right,
of my
right,
life.
right, right.
LOML, yeah. Um, yeah, Eldest Daughter got me. I don't even know if it was on the first listen, but I definitely felt the emotion on the first listen. Couple times after that. I don't know if it was
It's
because I was
so
tired or something.
Oakley, I
I
feel like
cried.
you're really good with the production aspect of analysis.
Exactly,
Um,
exactly.
I It's so simple in comparison to the first 4 songs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
definitely.
think that's kinda like the beauty of it. But I love the line, "Apathy is hot." Um,
Yeah.
Mm,
every single hot take is
yes.
cold as ice. I'm I'm like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, everyone has something to say." Me too! I have a lot to say. I haven't shut up for an hour and a half. And, but, every hot take is cold as ice is, I don't know, it's just, such a reminder of, the people you're talking about on the internet, they're real people behind the screen, and, you don't have to agree with someone, you also don't need to be a freaking dick about everything.
Yeah. So aside from Wish List, which we'll obviously get to in part 2 of this episode, this is the song that I've seen get the most hate for lyricism specifically. And I mentioned earlier that I posted that reel, but there were a lot of comments. There were a few that I don't really like the song, but I like the bridge. And I get that perspective. I do. But there were also a lot of comments that were like, yeah, only certain people get it. Only eldest daughters get it. And certain people, it invokes something for them, and it like it does for me.
Yeah.
So it seems like a lot of people do not like this song, but I just want to read a couple of the comments that I got because some people had some really really good things to say
Mm-hmm.
in agreement with my expression in the reel that it was kind of a top tier bridge when you think about it. Okay, so I don't know that another song has ever evoked such an emotional response from me. The first time I heard this bridge, I burst into tears, ugly crying. Um, Another one, the worst people in the world are the ones that kick the vulnerable and broken. Um, I never thought I'd have someone that would want to do the dumb romantic things with me, but he does. A love worth waiting for. Um, let's see, eldest daughters defend eldest daughter. Um, they can't understand, mean the haters can't understand how the contrast of cringe, tacky lyrics with those buzzwords make this beautiful bridge more effective.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree on that because, I'm gonna say, the first, chorus and stuff, I didn't really understand, but I didn't absolutely hate it like so many people do. I'm like, this is
Yeah,
Taylor
no,
Swift. There's got to
exactly.
be a reason for it.
For
There's got to be
sure.
a reason for it. And the more that I dug deeper into it, I'm like, oh, this is the reason. Um, and yeah, there was another one. This really packs several punches. Few songs have evoked so much emotion. I cried the first time I listened to it and do every time. It brings back all of my childhood and self-love journey in the most healing and beautiful way. There was another one. This song is everything. It is the eldest daughter, Taylor, reassuring little 7-year-old Taylor that she will never leave her, that she will believe her, that her efforts and wishes are allowed, that her very existence is supported, that such
Mm-hmm.
proof that our inner child work matters. Of course, it can be tailored to Travis, but most importantly, it's us to that little stuff within us that needs to be protected and defended. Like someone just wrote that in an Instagram reel comment. I was like, whoa, that's a lot. But
Yeah,
it's also really true. Um,
that was a beautiful comment.
it really was. There were so many like that. I'm not gonna read every single one, obviously, but those were some um that just sort of stuck out to me, and like a lot of people are resonating with this.
There's a couple
Wow.
lyrics I would like to point out, that kinda relate to those comments you were talking about, Erica. You know, the last time I laughed this hard was on the trampoline in somebody's backyard. I must have been about 8 or 9. That was the night I fell off and broke my arm. Pretty soon I learned cautious discretion. Kind of reminds me of, like, well, I mean, I had a pretty bad arm break when I was 6.
Yeah.
And, it was way worse than most. Oakley, for reference, they almost had to amputate my arm. Um, I was in the hospital for 8 days. It was like,
Ah,
that's a really bad break that typically does not happen. But when you have
yeah.
an injury like that, like a broken arm, like, you are very helpless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even if it's only for a couple weeks, like, you need help, like, buttoning your jeans. You need help showering. And, like, the cautious discretion, was like she learned not to be a burden after that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Or, like, do things that would make her a burden to others.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then, also, when I said I don't believe in marriage, that was a lie. That brings me right back to, like, Lover, where she literally has wedding vows in the song. But then
And Lavender
And
Haze.
then just a couple of years later, Lavender Haze, she's like, that 1950s shit, no thanks. I'm like,
Out with
mm,
it.
yeah. And
Psych.
here she's like, I
Psych.
actually do believe in marriage. Like, um, every eldest daughter was the first lamb to the slaughter, so we all dressed up as wolves and we looked fire. Kind of a
We
cringe
looked
lyric.
fire.
And I think that's what people reference, but I love it because
Me
it's such
too.
like yeah, it's like, it's so powerful. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
we all dressed up as wolves. So, a lamb is a prey, like, they're protected by shepherds and dogs. First lamb to the slaughter, so we all dressed up as wolves, which is, like, the
Yeah.
predator, and we looked fire. Um, I think she could have left it off as we all dressed up as wolves, but I think that the "and we looked fire" just kinda adds to the lyric, like, makes it a little
Me
bit
too.
longer, gives it a reason for them to be dressing up as wolves. But it's like they were, like, really personifying, but also playing a part of being more powerful than you actually feel.
Exactly.
Because then it's followed by, "But I'm not the baddest, and this isn't savage." Um, but that bridge, it's, like, so stunning, and it really,
It's
like,
beautiful.
it's so whenever I hear that bridge, like, I just think about, like, my relationship with Drew, and that's, like, really what it feels like to be with the right person.
Yeah. Yeah. I also saw, and this was interesting, this could have been her intention, it could not have been, but somebody is like, so many people are hating on Eldest Daughter because they're misunderstanding it. They're not understanding that the cringe or tacky lyrics are there for a reason. So they're misunderstanding Eldest Daughter because eldest daughters are misunderstood. And that was
Ooh.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oof,
Yeah.
oof.
No, for
And I
sure.
I wouldn't I would not put it past her if that was one of the reasons.
Mm-hmm.
The other is, like, I saw somebody comment, like, um, she put all these lyrics to contrast the beautiful bridge because she is trying to, like, use the language that, like, a younger sibling would use, or, like, speak the language of a younger generation because she's trying to seem cool to them. Like, she literally says, "I've been dying just from trying to seem cool."
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that could be another reason. Like I said, the Zane Lowe interview, she explains it so well. It's not very long, it's like 10 minutes, I think. But she talks a lot about Eldest Daughter in that one. But I mean, I was so surprised that that reel popped off like that. But it's literally getting close to 10,000 likes because, like, contrary to what you may see on social media right away after the album release, like, there are plenty of people who connect to it. And I think that's, like, the really beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm. I think, honestly, I did like the song right off the bat, I will say. But for some reason, I didn't pay too much attention to the lyrics. I knew they were there and I knew they served a purpose, but I did not really critically evaluate the lyrics. But when I just pulled up the lyrics right now in list form, kind of like just on Google, and then it just like comes up, I'm looking at it like from like a list form, and everything at the beginning of the song is like everybody's so punk on the internet, everybody's unbothered till they're not. Every joke's just trolling and memes, sad as it seems, apathy is not. The lyrics just get more like more intense and more meaningful as the song goes on. So like I wanna say the second verse was just, the last time I laughed this hard, like the childhood stuff. Cautious discretion. um I don't believe in magic, that was a lie, every eldest daughter, first lamb, dress up as wolves, we look fire. That was the second verse, and so that like it that was just like way more meaningful and just way more visually and thought provoking. And then it just like peaked at the bridge. And with that, just beautiful bridge. And we lie back. Beautiful, beautiful. Time lapse. Um, that was the peak. And then it all just comes back around to because I'm not the baddest and this isn't savage. Like the simple lyrics of the chorus. And I just think it's just like a wave of different just like intensities of lyrics. I don't know how to describe it,
Yeah.
but
No, I think that
I
the
just
Yeah.
intensity is a really great way to describe it.
Yeah.
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 So, a new appreciation of the song is now occurring. I like it way more than I did like 20 minutes ago. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, going back to like my uh broken limb accident was not nearly as bad as yours, Hannah, but
No,
I
like I said, mine is
literally
not the norm.
yeah, yeah, that's why I'm prefacing it with like mine was very, very minor, but I literally broke a limb on a trampoline when I was like 16.
I forgot about that.
So yeah, I was babysitting. Yeah.
Sorry for laughing.
Technically it was huh?
I forgot. I'm sorry. No, but the
No, yeah.
irony of like I broke a limb on a trampoline.
Yeah. So when she said that, I was like, there's literally no way she just said that. Are there hidden cameras in my house? Is she in my brain? What? This is such a specific experience. What? How is there a lyric about breaking a limb on a trampoline?
It does
But
seem
no,
like out of place, but it's also so childlike.
yeah. Yeah. So obviously I related to that lyric. I'm like, where did that come from? And where's the camera?
I do-
But
Anyways,
anyway, that was how I broke my foot on a trampoline. A very specific experience, but something I very much related to on the first listen. Yeah, and I've cried to the song multiple times, along with Ruin the Friendship, but I think it's getting late. So I think
and
it
my
might be
head
yeah.
time
hurts.
to wrap it up. Okay, so that was part
One.
one of our Life of a Showgirl breakdown. We are going to be splitting this into two parts just because of how much we have to say about every single track. So thank you for tuning in with us on these first 5-track breakdowns.
Mm.
And thank you, Oakley and Hannah, for joining me on this. And we will see you all in part 2 coming really soon. Bye.
Can I ask you a